Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Pierre LaMar Johnson. Listen, I hope this video finds you well. We are just upon the Christmas holiday. We are right in the midst of the season. You know, we experienced Black Friday already, and now people are rushing around trying to spend their seed in the stores to get gifts for their friends and their loved ones. And one of the recurring themes that we're experiencing in this season, that we always experience in this season, is impatience. And man, you go out and you will see some fights in the stores. People got an attitude. People are hot in the malls. That's why I don't go to the mall, because I'm not trying to get hot, bumping into people and running around. But listen, the Bible also talks about patience. In Hebrews chapter 10, the apostle is encouraging the Hebrews with some of the privileges and the honors that are given to them because of Christ. And he goes down in verse 35. It says, don't let go of your confidence. Don't cast away your confidence, because listen, there's going to be an exceedingly great reward. What he's saying is that, listen, we've got to do the will of God, and that we're going to do the will of God. And oftentimes when it comes to life and living a godly life, man, we lack patience and we get very impatient. And then we start to question ourselves. We start to question if we're on the right path, if we're really doing what God has told us to do. And we even begin to question, did I really hear from God? Because at the onset of a thing, when something is beginning, when it's in that initial stage, we're excited and we're just so happy and thanking God for the open door. But man, once things get difficult, we're questioning if we have heard from God, if we can hear from God, if perhaps we're outside of his will. But the apostle is saying, listen, cast not away your confidence. There's going to be exceedingly great reward. And what I need you to do is that as you pursue the will of God, as you pursue to live your life in the will of God, in the plan that God has for your life. Yes, there's an expected end that we learn about in Jeremiah 29:11, and we always know that the greatest thing for the believers, for Christians, is the promise. That we know that there is a promise, and that's the thing that we are working towards to get there. Not that we've already received it, but we're going through the process so that we can get to the promise. And what the apostle is saying, listen, do not throw away your holy boldness in your courage. That in the midst of it all, know what God has called you to do. Know that you hear from God, that the sheep know the shepherd's voice, and a stranger they will not follow. So now he's saying, listen, cast not away your confidence. Oh my gosh, it's going to be difficult, but cast not away your confidence. I know that you're going to go through things, but cast not away your confidence. I know that there is an enemy that is trying to wage war against you, that is trying to start or pick a fight with you. That word fight, when it talks about the enemy, it's talking about hatred. The enemy hates you. That I know that there is an enemy that hates you, but cast not away your confidence. I know that you're going to go through pressures in your family. I know that you're going to go through pressures in ministry. I know that you're going to go through pressures as far as your relationships and certain desires, as far as your health. I know you're going to go through things, but cast not away your confidence. Listen, you are looking at someone who has been through the fire, my God. But I know that there is a vein, or there is a place for silver, and there is a vein where gold is refined. And I had to get to that point where I did not cast away my confidence. Was every day peachy? Absolutely not. But I kept this in mind, that I may not have received it yet, but God promised it. So now cast not away your confidence. Don't give up. Don't throw in the towel. I'm going to pay you off just because you stayed in the race, just because you didn't give up, just because you didn't quit, just because you didn't wallow in defeat. That be not weary in doing well and doing good. But what is the doing good? The will of God. For you shall reap a harvest if you don't faint, baby. Listen, so God is saying, and he's giving us some indicators here of the fact that we're going to go through things. So don't cast away your confidence. It's not just some cute little word, but it's because I know that you're going to go through things where your confidence is going to come into question. I know that you're going to experience some things that will cause you to, in life, to tell you that, listen, there's no reason to be bold in this thing. You have nothing that is going to point you into winning direction. But that's not true. That cast not away your confidence, you're going to receive an exceedingly great reward. And then it goes on in verse 36 and it says this, for you are in need of patience. Hello, happy birthday. You are in need of patience. That after ye have done the will of God, you shall receive the promise. So what he's saying is, first of all, don't cast away your confidence. You're going to need confidence to do God's will. Don't throw it away. But then he's saying, listen, now do the will of God. Don't expect to receive the promise without doing the will of God. Part of God's will is actually going through the process, going through the mess. That here you have a promised end, an expected end. But listen, there's a messy middle in the midst of that thing. But God says, listen, after you have done that will, after you have gone through the process, after you have walked through the messy middle, after you have had times where you had to cry in the valley, after you have experienced times of questioning and not really knowing what's going on, after you experienced time in the valley where you didn't have all the details to how the story was going to end, after you have done the will of God, you're going to receive the promise. So what it's saying here, don't throw away your confidence. And this is for you. Don't throw away your confidence in this season. Do the will of God. But then after you have done the will of God, now you got to be patient. Why? Because you still have a promise, but now you need patience in the period of time that you're waiting for the promise to be fulfilled. And I want to let you know that the promise is still going to be fulfilled. That congratulations, because you've been making baby steps. Celebrate the small victories. You're going to get to that end result, man. You're going to cross that finish line. But while you're on that journey, celebrate the things that you are achieving. Celebrate the moves that you are making that are setting you up for the prize. Don't throw away your confidence. I don't care what word has been spoken over you. I don't care what doctor's report has been given to you. Don't throw away your confidence. During this season, it's so easy to be depressed. It's so easy to worry. You walking around here looking at everybody else. And remember that no one posts their failures, but you're looking at everyone else and in the picture that they're painting on social media. You're hearing what they say in the break room. You're hearing everybody talk in the narthex and in the lobby at church during your weekend experiences. And it's easy to now go back home and beat yourself up and lose confidence because you don't see the promise in the near future. But I want to let you know that God is a God who loves to surprise his children. He is still daddy and he wants to surprise you. So don't cast away your confidence. God says, I know you're going through things. I know that you are experiencing doubt at times. But no, listen, unbelief is not a lack of faith. Unbelief is actually believing something that is not true. You know that it's unbelief that kept the children from entering into what God had for them. But that's not going to be your story. That's not going to be my story. That shake yourself. That procrastination is nothing but a trick and a plan and a tool of the enemy to keep you from moving forward in confidence. So now, make a list, check that thing every day, set some goals so that you can celebrate the small victories. And don't celebrate too long because then you'll get stuck there, but you got to keep on moving forward. Remember that God's objective is not that we just occupy, but it's that we occupy for the sake of advancement. That he wants there to be much more fruit. He wants there to be more disciples. And perhaps as Jesus told the people in Acts, sit here, stay here, and await the Father's promise. And then it did come. It did come eventually. They all scattered out. And they took the gospel everywhere. And before the will of God is fulfilled, oftentimes persecution comes. And that's what happened to the church. That Saul came and persecuted the church. But that's what you're going through right now. It's a difficult season. Oh boy, do I know. But I also know this, is that God still promised you. That God still promised me. So we're not going to cast away our confidence. What else are we not going to do? We're not going to be impatient. Then now we're doing the will of God. And then now I need patience from this point where I'm doing the will until the point where it's fulfilled. And it will be fulfilled. So I speak the advancement of future things over you. I speak the patience of God over you. It's a fruit of the Spirit. I speak the joy of the Lord over you. I speak good sleep over you. that you're not gonna be waking up in the middle of the night in cold sweats from dealing with nightmares and night terrors. No, but the peace of God is gonna come over you. Like Nehemiah, you're doing a great work and you can't come down. That you're almost at that place where you're at that expected end, where there's something established and complete. So don't lose your confidence. And I don't know when the last time somebody told you this, but I'm going to say it to you. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, and God is so proud of you. Don't get too desperate now as you move forward to receive the promise. Enjoy and embrace the process. Enjoy the journey. Why? There's another journey. So what you want to do is to not rush it, not be impatient, not beat yourself up. There is so much in life that is already beating you up. Don't beat yourself up. Enjoy the process and pick up the treasures. The treasures are the lessons. So I love you, and I'll see you real soon. Peace.